welcome, of course, to Super League Raw Weekly. Another week has gone by. Greg and I back as always. Good evening, sir. Are you well?
Good evening. I'm very, very well. Having a bad hair day today, sir. I think he's disappeared. While he's not there, I'd just like to thank all those people who came up to the game on Saturday and said we were doing quite a good show. Thanks for that. Got some good feedback. Hope everybody enjoyed the rugby at the weekend. I got a lot to chat about tonight. As usual, keep everything coming into the feed. You know how to do it by now, I'm sure. The regulars will be there, who Dave will let me know is in the house as soon as he's in the house, as the kids say. So, yeah, quite a busy week this week. If anybody knows the points for the Man of Steel this round, let us know. I'm busy looking for it, but it doesn't appear to have turned up yet. But if you can let us know in the chat, as I say, I'm looking for it. If you know where it is, let us know. And I think Dave's back in the room.
Don't know what happened there. Yes, good evening.
Oh, he's got it, Ken. Oh, looks like you're stuck with me, children. Never mind. So, yeah, a lot of things to talk about on tonight's show. Wigan fans, do we have any viewing us? What do we think about Jay Field? 10 weeks out with a hamstring, apparently. Big Alex Walmsley also, the curse of the hamstring. Hello.
Don't know what's going on. Unbelievable.
Well, and thanks for joining us this week for a great show. We'll see you next week. See you, everyone. Bye.
I don't know what's going on. It's the Gremlins, absolute Gremlins. But yes, good evening. Good evening to one and all.
Well, I've just told them everything, Dave, so we can go now, an early night.
Yeah, well, people are saying, is it a bad hair day? And it's putting your cap on.
Yes,
you know him too well.
Can't do a thing with it.
Yeah, Andy and Sue are in the house. Good evening, Andy and Sue. Good Easter period of games. Yes, it's going to be sensational, this one. Really, really excited to see what... I just think as Easter goes, probably one of the best lineups that we've had for many a year.
And do you know what benefits from only one game over the weekend?
100%.
I never thought I'd say that because I used to like the Good Friday, Easter Monday games. But yeah, I think benefit. Hello.
Yeah, we're having little gremlins tonight. You're gonna have to just bear with us. It doesn't happen often, but yeah. I think, without doubt, mate, this is going to be sensational. We've got loads to get through, to get through. So let's just crack on. Let's get going.
I've asked in the chat, by the way, Dave.
What's that, mate?
I've just asked when you decided to leave us for a little while. I asked if anybody gets those Man of Steel points before we do to let us know in the chat.
Absolutely, yeah. We're keeping an eye on that. As yet, nothing has come through. Right, okay. So, for those eagle-eyed on our Facebook feed, you'll have seen that we announced our team of March, rounds 2 through to round 6, and this was that team. Love a good jingle, sir. Love a good jingle. Very nice. So there you go. There's our team of March. Matt Duffy at fullback, Tom Johnson, Josh Charnley on the wings, Nene McDonald, Adam Kieran in the centres, Williams and Lachlan Lamb in the halves, Tom Amone, who was second only to Paul Vaughan in metres made as a prop forward, Darryl Clark in there, Kai O'Donnell, who personally sensational in March, Reece Martin, Cameron Smith. What were your thoughts, Greg? About right?
I couldn't find much to disagree with there, to be honest.
No.
I think Cameron Smith, apart from the last game, has been in really top form. He wasn't so good this weekend, but top form. Reece Martin, has played he's probably played as many games in the centre as he can roll this season. But there's not a lot I can argue with there, if I'm being honest with you. Tom Amone's or Amane, or however you say it, has had a solid start to the season.
Absolutely.
So good to see Paul Vaughan, the man who doesn't exist.
Yes, the man who doesn't exist in terms of Super League Man of Steel points. But yeah, we also announced that Paul Vaughan was our player of the month, and of course Darryl Powell, our coach of the month. No real surprises there based on what's happened during the start of the season. And of course, it's for them now to be knocked off the perch. Let us know in the chat if you agree with that. But I think based on based on the comments in Facebook, very few had any issues with that.
Yeah,
Of course,
I mean, you could argue Jay Field and Bevan French from Wigan, but
they only came good though, mate, the last two games.
it makes a change that there are no Saints and no Wigan players in there. I think that says a lot for the quality of other teams in the league at this early start of the season. It could all even itself out at the end.
Yeah, I think
we've got
I think the only Saints player that's unfortunate not to be in there is Hurrell. I think Hurrell has had a really solid start to the year.
He's missed a couple of games, hasn't he?
He has exactly that, and that's why he wasn't there, because he did miss 2 games in March through suspension. You're spot on, sir. As always, finger on the pulse, Gregory. Finger on the pulse. Right.
Sunday name.
It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. Right. Let's get into some other news then. Let's just have a little play with this for a moment. Right. Okay. So, hello. This has been announced this evening. The Glens Player of the Month nominees, the official ones from Super League. George Williams, Paul Vaughan, no issues there. Cameron Smith, I think, having a sensational start for Leeds. Charlie, absolutely. Adam Kieran. Bevan French. Now, Wigan fans, French has only come good in the last 2 games. For me, personally.
Yeah.
You know, it's been the last 2 games. A Player of the Month, it's about consistency. Cam Smith, consistently good for Leeds. In a team that's been up and down, Smith can hold his head high. Charlie, man reborn. Adam Kieran, probably at the moment, only second to Vaughan for me in terms of imports of the season.
I would say certainly Catalan's best player, I would have thought, this season.
Can't disagree with that, mate. Can't disagree with that. Williams, I think everybody would agree, is in incredible form. But yeah, French, I mean, don't get me wrong, the last 2 games, sensational. Absolutely sensational. But I'm sorry, for the whole month of March, no, I'm sorry. I can't see that for me. You?
No.
Where's Tom Johnson? Where's Tom Johnson? Top try scorer in the league. Where's Tom Johnson?
Exactly. You know, you could argue for Darrell Clark, you could argue for Matt Duffy. I know they're Warrington players, but you could argue for any number of players. Might be slightly biased here for once.
Slightly, just slightly. John Wilkinson. Oh, that's a good shout, Steve. Steve Carter's going in there. Tim Lafay. That's a good shout.
Yeah, missed the last game through injury though.
Last game, yeah, but that was round. That was round 7. Round 7 will be in the next batch. So the way we're going to do this, the way we're going to do this, obviously, there was a couple of games on Thursday and Friday last week. Of course, April the 1st was Saturday. We're going to look at it from a rounds perspective. So those 2 games that happened Thursday, Friday, we will pool them as round 7 games, and we will judge them as part of the April man of players of team of the week.
Fair enough.
So that's how we're going to do it. So the Bevan French performance that we saw at the weekend will be included in, as with the Abdul one as well on Friday. That will be took into account.
Lachlan Lamb's been consistent.
Very good. Very good. And Amon, I mean, we've just said Tom Amon. Asiat has been in good form. So interesting. Right, a couple of photographs there. So I think Greg's going to take the lead on slide 2 when we come back after the tries of the round. But yeah, why are these pictures on there? Well, first of all, it was Hamstring City, wasn't it? You know, unbelievable. You know, Wormsley, minimum 4 to 6. Tex Hoy, more than likely 6 to 8. And of course, already Field has been said 8 to 10. Massive blows. We did a poll today. Who is the biggest loss for Good Friday? Alex Wormsley or Jay Field? At the moment, that's running at 77%. Jay Field is the bigger loss of the 2. I don't think anybody would argue too much with that one.
Not at all. I think, you take Jay Field out, you take Bevan French out. I don't cause any offence, but Wigan are a very ordinary team without those 2 in there.
Well, the last 2 rounds, I think they have been the difference, haven't they?
And everything Bevan French did on Thursday night, Friday night, Cameron, when it was, just came off. Everything came off for him. He was super.
It was the perfect game. It was the perfect game. You know, I mean, that's a 2 or 3 in a season type of game. It was just, as you say, it was just it was
everything
a masterclass.
He did turn to gold. It was just brilliant to see.
Yeah, it was a masterclass. I was expecting to see the Tin Man and the Lion behind him, I have to be honest, as they were following the Yellowbit Road. But anyway, that's another one. I don't know where he come from.
Tompkins is at Catalan now, mate.
You are, mate.
Tompkins is at Catalan now.
Yeah, that's true. Carl Fitzpatrick, come out this evening, this one. In negotiations with Darrell Clark and Curry, of course, both of those off contract this year. A lot of noises of Darrell Clark and Saints, Greg.
Yeah. And also Cruz Lehman as well, though, who's gone down under this week. Is it Wests?
No, he's gone Gold Coast. And
Gold
to be fair,
Gold Coast with Tom McHaley, yeah. Leeming and Clark both being linked. To be fair, they're going to need a special player to replace Roby.
Yeah.
Darrell Clark's a special player.
Yeah.
It would be a great move for Saints if they got either of those players, I think.
Well, I think the fact that Leeming's contract is only till the end of the season is quite telling. I think that's quite telling. I think there could be something in it. Wouldn't surprise me come May the 1st if he's announced as a Saints player for next year. In terms of keeping Clark at Warrington, that will be welcome news for Wire. But then again, saying that, and weirder things have happened, should Clark go to Saints, would the Wire go for Leeming?
They could well do, although they've got a good kid coming through the reserves, who is going to set Super League on fire in a few years.
I think Walker is. I think Warrington are positioning Walker to take over the Clark.
80 minutes and had an excellent game on Saturday.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
Also, mate, just also as well, Fitzpatrick saying that already in talks with Williams to extend, and also they're looking at those players that are off contract in 24 as well. They're trying to tie down those players for extensions, which is good to hear if you're a Warrington fan. And then finally, there you can see. Sorry, mate, Andy Last.
I was going to say. I mean, I spoke last week about the money that McHaley will free up and the supposed transfer fee. Maybe that's got them thinking that they can, instead of panic buying, which they don't really need to do.
No,
they could maybe use some of that money to tie up contracts over the next few years. Who knows?
Couldn't agree with more. Couldn't agree with more. Watch this space between now and, of course, May the 1st. Andy Last there, of course, he's come out as well and said that they're very close to announcing at Castleford. So a big game for him this weekend against Wakefield in terms of his ambitions of being given that job full time. There's also a lot of rumours at the moment that there may be a merry-go-round on the way in terms of Hull FC. Castleford Tigers are in the mix on that. A lot of talk of maybe a transfer merry-go-round over the next few days. So by the time we get back here next week, maybe there'll be a few players that have moved. We need to move at a pace. We're already at 8:15. So, like I say, it's frightening, isn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight in. I'm going to take a look at tries of the week. Let's take a look at some of these little juicy nuggets. there they are, the tries of the week for this week. As always, Greg, what was your pick of that lot?
I think Broadbent was an absolutely superb try. I think the guy standing in for Widdop.
Incredible.
And I think we were speaking about it earlier this week, that the Castle fans think he should stay there.
He will this weekend because the teams have been announced and Widdop is missing.
Indeed. So Broadbent was a great try. I thought Lewis Dodds was a good effort. Artem Org was good. Poor defence,
but what a lovely run.
But he went 5 yards forward and 60 yards either side and scored a try. You know,
Two great tries.
Maybe he had to have a lie down after that. And Owen Trout
mate. Well, we'll get to that. That's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty. As was the Curry try. That was a thing of beauty as well.
I think it may be a hint of offside, but let's gloss over that.
We've got some lovely tries coming up in the.
In fact, Ben Curry leapt like a trout.
Indeed, yes.
Trout's leap.
Outstanding. See what you did there. Wonderful. Right, let's get into some more news. Plenty of news to get in. First and foremost, you can see the fans there. Last week, 51,000, just about 51,500 went through the turnstiles last week. It is expected to be a record-breaking Easter weekend. The record is 79,173. 2 grounds have already announced they're over 20,000. I think the Wigan game is announced over 23,000.
Yes.
Catalan are expecting their biggest ever Easter weekend crowd. Leeds are always good for a 15k plus. So this is looking really good for rugby league this weekend. Delighted.
You know, we might just be getting back to where we were before COVID. You know, we're a couple of years after that, but it's taken its toll. You know, I'm still going to do's that were organised during COVID and had to be cancelled. We're still getting up. People haven't realised the massive effect it's had on people's lives. And I think, and the standard of rugby, though, is helping. I think
it's never been tighter this year.
I think Channel 4's coverage is helping because it's absolutely spot on and it's to a terrestrial audience. You know, Sky have kind of upped the game a little bit over the last few weeks. I've thought that, you know, they've kind of improved, up the game. I think that's helped. And as you say, it's not just the same teams this year dominating.
No.
And certain teams, when they are doing well, always boost the numbers of always boost crowd figures when certain teams are doing well. And it's noticeable when those teams don't do well, mentioning no names, that figures aren't quite as high as they should be. So it's great to see. And you know, every game's on TV and it's still not putting people off. Every game.
It's a feast of rugby league this weekend. Let's give a few shouts.
I hope the kids don't want to go out this Easter.
There'll be an Easter egg hunt of the rugby ball variety. Good evening.
5 kids, get on the bus.
Good evening. So Greg Roach is with us. John Wilkinson with us. Andy and Serve already mentioned. Freddie McGilvey, as always, in the house. Steve Cartledge is with us. Woody Woodhouse, that's a new one on me. What a great name, Woody Woodhouse. Good evening, Woody. How are you, sir? Matthew Greenwood is with us as well. Alex Sharp, as always, is with us as well. Alex has already put a question in. Do we think that the disciplinary fines and not match bans are the best? Hang on. Do you think the disciplinary fines are not match bans are best?
Yeah.
I think so. It keeps players on
100%.
pitch.
100%. I'd much rather they had to pay 500 on that. I know just digressing a little bit. I know my drop goal theory was kind of laughed out of the house last week, but there's been a lot of instances recently, and it happened again, I think, over the weekend, where players have been hit late off the ball and have had to be have missed the rest of the game because they failed the HIA. Now, if a player's given a yellow card because of that, should that card instantly become a red if that player fails his HIA? It would certainly make them think again about hitting players late, because they're missing 10 minutes and crucial players are missing.
It's not always deliberate though, mate. I get your point, but they're not always deliberate, and we want to keep
They're not, mate, but they're happening a lot. We seem to have these things happen a lot. We have a wave of incidents, shoulder charges, head-high tackles. This season, it seems to be late hits they're practicing tackling all week long. They should be timing their tackling.
Of what I've seen up to now, the yellows that I've seen, I think a yellow, 10 minutes on the side is enough. I've yet to see one where I'm looking at it and going, I think there was one early doors, wasn't there, in the season for Saints.
Hurrell got a red.
Hurrell, yeah. But yeah, no.
Got a yellow, and I think the player missed that. Because these players now are missing that game and the game after.
Yeah. I get that.
It's just a thought. It's just what do people in the forum think? If a player is hit late and has to miss the game because they fail a HIA, if the player that hits him is given a yellow card because he's a genuine late tackle, should that card become a red card? And then miss.
It's one for them to consider, mate.
Yeah, it's just an idea.
Eddie Hearn, you were a bit took by Eddie's comments this week, I think.
Yeah, no superstars in rugby league. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we're not talking Messi and Ronaldo, are we? But has he not heard of Kevin Sinfield and Rob Burrow?
Well, I think it's one of them, innit? I think where he was coming from was that, he's made darts players into superstars. And it was an interesting article in the fact
I think it might be a bit of sour grapes from our friend there. That, they want the RFL wanted him to look at the Challenge Cup, and he said, no, it's all or nothing. And you could argue the RFL were maybe not forward thinking enough, but I can see it from their point of view that if this guy can turn around the Challenge Cup and fill Wembley again, then we'll give him the gig with the whole league. Baby steps. Yeah. I think it's a bit sour grapes.
Well, speaking of baby steps, IMG tomorrow are going to be giving the Rugby Football League and the chairman and executives of the Super League clubs their revised recommendations. A lot expected around the community game and community elements. And I think that everybody would welcome that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of, Keighley, Featherstone and a couple of other clubs have been unhappy at the IMG proposals, but we've got to see what the whole package involves before we start being negative about it. We've got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We've got to see what the full deal is.
Yeah.
And then, see what happens from then on, I think.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Another Wakefield signing from Huddersfield, Nathan Mason now, going to Wakey for 2 weeks.
Yeah, mate, Wakefield are in trouble.
In dire straits. We'll get to that in the highlights, but yes, they are in dire straits.
There was rumours this week that Tanganoa was going to Warrington, but I think they've been
still rumours on that.
I looked on Facebook tonight, and I think those rumours have been quashed. Font of all knowledge Facebook, but.
Yeah, the rumour mill is there, isn't it? And then finally, the picture on the right-hand side that you saw was one of Luke Brooks. Those of you who don't know, he, of course, is a halfback at the West Tigers. And by all accounts, Leeds Rhinos are looking at Luke Brooks for 2024.
Yeah, that's where I got West Tigers from before when we're talking about leaving. Interesting. Who will he replace?
Well, both Caesar and Austin, I believe, are off contract at the end of the season. So
Austin again has blown a little hot and cold this season, but has strung a couple of performances together. Not quite the halfback pairing that they should be yet.
No.
But we can say that about Miller and Widdop, who I thought would be ripping it up, and they're not.
But with the greatest respect to Castleford, this is Leeds Rhinos we're talking about, and. Caesar and Austin will be on big money. And quite frankly, for me, they're not delivering. Simple as that. Right, then, let's keep moving on at a pace. We need to congratulate Stephen Bowie, who continues to lead the fantasy team. And there you can see Karen Chown, a Saints fan. Highest points on the week, 688. Now in fourth. If you're not a part of our mini fantasy league, there is the pin 5722. There's the password RawFans23. Get involved, and who knows, there may be a prize for the winner at the end of the season. I'm sure there will be. So before we get into the highlights, as always, let's take a quick look at who the top performers were for round number 7. you go, the top performers from round number 7. And for those eagle-eyed amongst you, you'll have seen that for the second week running, Toby King with the most offloads. Incredible tackling stats from Cameron Smith.
Well, maybe that's why he wasn't as potent in attack this week, because he had a lot of defending to do. But
Incredible.
fair play to Toby King. You know, you can't argue with that. He's certainly upped his game.
Tommy making some, maybe carrying a bit of a knock, mate. Percival goal. I mean, he missed. That said, he did miss the first 2. I'm led to believe, and then the kicking responsibility went over to Percival. Maybe he didn't fancy it. I don't know on Friday night. But anyway, right, let's get into some action.
Oh, sorry, but it will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see Saints team on Friday.
In what respect?
Well, there's lots of rumours flying around about players not quite 100%. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think they'll be asked to play through the pain barrier on this one. There's a lot at stake, mate. A lot at stake. Right, let's get into some highlights. Lee, of course, against Wigan. A lot of us had high hopes. I think Gary Schofield even went Lee in his predictions. And such a great start. Brilliant try from Briscoe.
Oh yeah. This try is becoming like a stock in trade for wingers. The dive and the one-handed put down. I mean, it's a skill. Well, that was two-handed, so shut me up. But it's thanks. It's a skill that wingers have had to acquire over the last few seasons.
Lovely hands, though, mate. Lovely hands. That went through 4 hands. It was
I think Wardle got away with that one, didn't he?
He's got away. He's got a fine 200 tries now for Briscoe in his career. Congratulations to Tom Briscoe on that one. Isa made his 300th career appearance in this game, but of course will be missing for the Good Friday clash.
Yeah, I thought Byrne had quite a good game for Wigan on Thursday. I thought he did all right. He was he ran quite strongly.
Yeah. I mean, that was you saw Bevan French there. I mean, God, that was like, at this time of year, let's talk Jesus. It was like the parting of the Red Sea, that one. It was just like, through you go, son. Unbelievable.
That was Moses.
Oh, sorry, that was Moses. Yeah, there you go. My good Catholic lad went wrong. This, for me, was not a try. I'm sorry, but why were they fixated on the one camera angle that didn't show the line? And even the camera angle that shows it, he loses control.
It's not a try. It's not a try. No,
it's
like the one last week where his back foot was on the line and they just showed the one angle and it's a try.
Yeah. I mean, it's a silly angle. It's an absolutely silly angle. But Alex Sharp's already got in on the chat here. He's saying he don't think it's a try either. He can't see the line. That is not the right angle to look at it. And he's clearly lost control there. Look, his other hand's on the floor. Look, there now. Yeah, that's not his hand. That you can see his hand. That's a definite. It's never a try. Never a try.
It made no difference at the end of the day, but it's not a try. It's not a try.
No. But again, that's one of them, and if it goes up as no try, it's no try.
And this is why we have to get rid of that on the field.
It's a nonsense, isn't it?
It has to go.
Yeah, that was not a try, and everybody's seemingly agreeing here in the chat. They're going in, no try, and like I say, I mean, don't get me wrong, his second is a thing of beauty.
More defence again, though, but it is.
But we like it. Look, let's credit the attackers. It was a thing. It was lovely. It was a lovely try. Yeah. But I mean, that for me, no, no. Never a try in a million years. Typical Sky. Took ages to give the decision one way or the other. Everything I'm putting, Dave, you're saying before I start is Alex. Sorry, Alex. I'll give you a chance next time, Chief.
You on a delay, Alex?
You keep going, Alex. You keep going, mate. I mean, that's not a try, but as you quite rightly say, Greg wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference.
Not in the final score, no.
No. I mean, this was a good bit of fortune, but again, you've got to credit Bevan French here.
Everything he did,
came off. Just came off.
Everything he did came off. It was one of those games. He'd have, if Sidney Crawford had been in the crowd, he'd have pulled her. You know what I mean? Everything.
Hey, go on, lad. Showing your age there. Oh, all the kids are saying who's Cindy Crawford. Unbelievable.
Don't know where I got that from.
I don't either. Oh, outstanding. They're all Googling now, Cindy Crawford. Oh, she was a fine lady today. Abbas Miski.
I mean, turn a pace on the lad.
Right, 10 tries in 10 games for Wigan.
You got to feel sorry. He's got to feel sorry for him. He's in the same squad as Marshall. He would rip it up in any other team in Super
Well, he'll
League.
be playing now, mate. He's going to get some. Here comes the field try. Here it comes.
Yeah.
There we go. This is now. I mean, the way he put the brakes on there, that's a lovely try. Now,
Yeah, that's
got to give him his
poor.
due.
Great
Yeah.
try. It's a
Great try.
mix of great attacking rugby and poor defensive rugby.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. I really can't. Again, here, for me, Wigan. I said last week, this is why I backed Wigan for this game. The Field French combination looked good the week before, and it came to fruition in this game.
Yeah,
Obviously, we feel now going to be missing. Look at that. Through you go, Toby King.
it's
Have
a
a bit of that.
beautiful kick.
It's a beautiful
It's
kick.
kick.
It's
But
a
that's
beautiful
what
kick.
Toby King does best. Toby King latches onto kicks.
Yeah, he does,
That's
mate.
his game.
You're right.
That's his
It is
game.
his game. You're spot on. You're spot on. Couldn't agree with you more. And then, of course, this again, out of the very top draw. He's onside. There's no doubt. He is onside, Bevan French there. I've slowed that right down. He's definitely onside. And, that's just a team that on the night, the confidence grew, albeit with the field absence now, is that going to be dented a little bit going into the Saints game? I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see how they react to that because he's a talisman.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can't wait for that game. I'm really looking forward.
No. Both that and the Hull derby. In fact, all of the games. We'll get to them. Every game this weekend is going to be tight. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be great. The Albert Gold 4 points, 3, no surprise, he's going for Bevan French, 2 for Harry Smith, and 1 for Ethan Havard, who also had a fine game.
He had a good game, Ethan Havard.
But no Man of Steel points have been announced as yet.
No, I keep looking. So I keep getting distracted.
Keep looking.
My phone
Keep looking. Right. We now move on to the next game, which just happens to be Hull KR Leeds and Jordan Abdul. This was a masterclass on. It's a masterclass on playing the conditions.
Yeah.
It's a masterclass in kicking, and Leeds Rhinos really need to address these short kickoffs because if they were going to work, they'd have worked by now. I just do not get the tactic at all.
No, they didn't work in the first game of the season. We're 7 games in and they're still not working. Look at that. I mean, Hull KR's cold in the middle of July. That must have been absolutely freezing.
Yeah. It was a monsoon, mate. It was a monsoon, wasn't it? I mean, it
Jordan
really
Abdul,
was.
Take a bow. That was an absolute outstanding performance.
Of course, he played. I mean, I felt for Hewlett. I really did on his debut. Alfert's had another shocker. That's his second shocker in 3 weeks.
Richard Silverwood was a bit out of order when he said Alfert's is
in
not
terms
a
of
Super League player. He tweeted Alfert's is not a Super League.
No, that's out of order, mate.
You bang out of order there.
No,
Mr.
that's out of order.
Some would argue you weren't a Super League referee, but let's not go there.
Oh, contentious. Go on, lad.
Can tell I've not had anything to eat yet, can't you?
Oh, I love it. But no, look, Devil Alphonse, we said this. You look at his record at Casford over the last 2 years. He's a winger that can finish, but for whatever reason, again, he's had. And this happens sometimes. We see this, mate. We see this in a lot of sports. Sometimes a move happens to a bigger team, and they just clam up.
Yeah. Look at was it Cook last year for Hull KR? Had a nightmare against Wigan and bounced back.
No, that was Wood. Yeah, Wood. Yeah,
Wood. Sorry, I knew he had 2 O's in it. Wood had an absolute nightmare against Wigan first game.
Oh, just in case anybody's missed it, that try there from Jesse Sue, that and the first 4 seconds of the second half was worthy of a place in this week's Team of the Week, supposedly.
Meanwhile, Mr. Invisible, Paul Vaughan.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect. And no disrespect to Owen Trout. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of Huddersfield fans that watch this, Freddie, as well. I'm sorry, but both of those tries, they weren't hard to score. A prop forward's job in any team is to make meters. That's the job.
Yeah.
And, don't get me wrong, 2 tries, and they were important tries for Huddersfield at the weekend. But do I think, based on what I saw...
That is a fortunate try. It's not like he's created something or he's ran 20 metres to score it.
Yeah.
It's like they put the fingers in their ears and go la 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 when you mention Paul Vaughan's name.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know.
It's
That was
incredible.
That was unlucky. That foot just out, and we saw something very similar. We'll see it in a minute with Huddersfield and Nagama. Nagama executed that exact play to perfection at the weekend.
I do wish he'd grow his beard back because he looks about 8.
Are you going to tell him?
No, the ref. Not Nagama, the ref.
Yeah. It says here Roberts was shocking Alex Sharp. But yeah, but hey, look, he's a young lad and it was his first try. Fair play to the kid. You know, he's got time on his side. I like to give youth a chance. I like to give him the benefit. This was absolute to you, to me. It's like the Chuckle Brothers to you, to me, to you, to me. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Look at that.
It's just like, I mean, again, Jesus, sorry, Moses.
Whoever.
Yeah, unbelievable. And of course, Kane Lynette going in to do that. But yeah,
I'm
Abdul,
surprised
mate.
Kane Lynette didn't figure in, higher up in the rankings.
He's a steady player, isn't he? But
solid.
I mean, this was just for me. I don't know what it is with Leeds at the moment. Big questions over the half backs, and you don't. I mean, both teams actually looked at the stats on this. Both teams actually had 17 errors in this game.
Yeah. So, did I have Leeds to win this game? I can't remember.
You did.
I had a shocker of a week on the predictions.
You did, mate. You had a
absolute shocker.
Just to remind you, you went Leeds 1-8 in this one. But yeah, it was poor. And actually, I said in the sheds, and if you haven't seen In the Sheds, that's live. There's not live, sorry. It's loaded onto YouTube and Facebook after each game. But I did say In the Sheds, flattered Leeds, flattered them.
Yeah,
for me, because Hull KR were head and shoulders better than on the night.
I think Hull KR probably adapted to the conditions better, but Leeds seemed flat. It was one of those where it's like, when you have those dreams and you're trying to run really fast and you're getting nowhere. Mate. It was almost as if, what?
We don't want to get into your head,
This was a dream I can actually talk about. When you're running, you're trying to run and your legs just are going nowhere. That was what Leeds looked like.
Oh, I don't know, mate. Hull ran them close at the Halliwell. Oh, dear Lord, we'll get to them in a minute. But
they were running in treacle.
They were running in treacle. They're packed, dearie me. But we'll get to that. To that. But look, Hull KR, bit up, bit down. This is a great win. Give them a great amount of confidence going into the game against Leeds at not Leeds, sorry, Hull FC, sorry, at the weekend, the Hull derby. It really will. Dare I say it, even though they're at the MKM, based on current form, probably go into that game as favourites, I would say.
I think they were going there very, if not favourites, very, very confident. And a lot of people
in terms of the Albert Goldthorpe, sorry, man.
Sorry, a lot of people this week, a lot of things flying around that. Is it time to merge the two Hull teams? Absolute codswallop, absolute rubbish.
We need a Cumbrian team. That's what we need.
We need a Cumbrian team. We don't need to merge the Hull teams. They are teams in their own right. People in a merge.
We need somebody with money. Somebody with money in Cumbria to make up a Cumbrian team with the likes of Whitehaven, etc. as feeder clubs for it. That's what we need.
I agree, 100%.
Albert Goldthorpe medal, 3 for Abdul, no surprises. Lynette got 2 and Coote got 1 as we now move on. This was, of course, the Saints game. 300 appearances now for Johnny Lomax in a Saints shirt. And this was a professional performance, I would say, from Saints. Yeah. And in fact, I was surprised at the score. I thought they put 50 on him.
Yeah, I mean, Walmsley went off in the first minute, I believe. I thought, I mean, when you're watching the game on Sky and you expect the scores to fly up, it was quite a while before Saints actually went over the try line. So, fair play to Wakey for a little while in this game. And there's been a few games this season where Wakey have actually held their own for quite a long period in the game, and then it's just passed them by.
Nice finish there.
Yeah, if you Wakefield fans, you've got to be really, really worried.
Yeah. This was nice. This was nice. Yeah. Really, really nice. Wellesby does that superbly well. Doddy on his outside. Great to see Lewis Dodd playing, with a smile on his face, playing some lovely stuff, Lewis Dodd.
Yeah, attracting interest in the NRL.
Yeah, and then comes Sir Conrad. Here he comes. Beautiful. Boom. Get out of the way. Beautiful. Yes. Yeah, I mean, Hull for me, as you rightly said, I think had he not missed those 2 games, he would have been in contention for our team of March. I think there's no doubt about it. That's good strength. Good strength there. But no, Saints just just moving. I mean, it's a massive game. We're going to find out so much this weekend. Warrington, a stiff test against Catalan. Wigan and Saints coming head to head. We're going to find out so much in terms of where these teams really are.
I think this is the defining week of Super League.
Oh, that's a bit early. Weekend.
No, as to where the top teams are actually standing at this moment in time.
Yeah,
I think it's a pointer. If certain teams do well, then you have to consider that your prediction that a new name will be on the trophy this season.
Oh, you're going back to that. Can I just say, Will Dagger wanted to stay at Hull KR for one more week. Watch this. He's thinking, oh God. It's like, I was at Hull KR last week.
As soon as Hull got that ball, I'd have retired.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, see
you, lads.
Speaking of Albert Goldthorpe, Hull picked up the 3, and I think rightly so. Hull picked up the 3. And you know what? Well done. Well done to Albert Goldthorpe, because I think they're going to have done what the Man of Steel won't have done. I think when the Man of Steel points come out, Lomax will get 3 out of centre.
Who got the 3 in this one? Sorry, David missed it.
Don't get me wrong, Lomax was good. Lomax was good. But I thought, Hull got 3, Lomax 2, Percival 1. So well done. Well done indeed. And actually, if I may just go back to the previous game, KR against Leeds, one player who isn't in our team of the week, so I'll just dispel them for that straight away, but I think absolutely deserves a shout out, George King. George King against Leeds did what the Leeds pack failed to do. He ran hard, he ran true, and he made meters. He was outstanding in that game.
He does it every week, mate. I was surprised when he probably wasn't the biggest name at Warrington, but I was surprised he let him go, because every week he leaves it out there every week.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Then, of course, on Saturday, Hull FC came to Warrington. I'm just going to throw the grenade in for you to catch, mate. The worst team to be at Halliwell Jones this season, bar none. They were poor.
Yes, and I was, as I said last week, I was worried about this game. I thought the upset that the McKaylee situation and a couple of behind the scenes things might have thrown us off our game. I could not be more wrong, and I'm going to put it out there. I'm happy that I was wrong, but Hull were streets behind where they were last season.
Yeah, they were poor.
They were very poor.
Williams again, mate, playing with extreme confidence in it.
He's got
incredible.
He's got a big pack in front of him. He's got a controlling half at the side of him. He's got packs. He's got players with pace behind him.
Yeah,
he's going to shine. He's going to shine.
Yeah.
And even Matautia is looking a better second row or loose forward than he is centre. He's
showing his versatility. There's no question about that.
And he's had his best 2 games for me in a Warrington shirt these last.
Here we go. Yeah. Beautiful, Peter. In you go. Yeah, nicely taken. Yeah, he played loose forward really well at the weekend. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, hold the presses. This just in. The next try is a thing of absolute beauty. It really is. I'll tell you, never since Clark Kent have you seen a man rise up like Mr. Curry did here. But
I thought he'd been stung by a bee. He jumped that up.
Mate, this kick from Williams, this is what I mean about playing with confidence. This is just, it's cheeky, it's executed. I mean, this is just beautiful. Look at this. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. Yeah.
I think he's slightly in front of the kicker, but I'm not going to.
I'm almost in tears watching that. That's rugby league gold. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then, of course, this pace. I mean, again, Williams there. Dufty, once he's in that type of space, it's good night, Rihanna.
He doesn't look like he's moving fast, and yet he is. Yeah, he's really deceptive. He's frighteningly quick.
He is. Good evening to Betty Collinson. Good evening, Betty. That's a new name. Yeah. Good evening to you. Betty. Good evening to Martin Jackson. Good evening, as always, to Steve Barton. He's with us as well. But yeah, I mean, great pace. Williams again, and good awareness to know Dufty there was on on his outside. And yeah, as you rightly say, Dufty playing well this season for the Wire, really playing well.
Yeah.
Superb.
He could very well go down as a Warrington legend.
Well, by the end of his time with us,
Very well.
Could very well. Could very well be. Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. But no, Warrington obviously killed this game before half time. 28-0 going in to the sheds at that point. Really good. Obviously, they'd lost. Pardon?
Drinkwater. He's like a man reborn.
Yeah.
I wonder if McNamara is regretting letting him go now.
Well, maybe, but I mean that was very similar to the Bevan French one in the fact that it's poor defence.
Yeah, melted away. But I wasn't so much the try, but the fact that how well he's playing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I think
Brad Dwyer. I'm glad for Brad Dwyer that he got on the score sheet because I like Brad Dwyer.
I like Brad Dwyer.
I think Leeds may well be regretting letting Brad Dwyer go.
100%.
But 100%. I've got a lot of time for Brad Dwyer.
I agree. The thing is, though, and I don't know about you at the ground, but I mean, Warrington up to this point were messing about. They were trying to get McKaylee a try. I mean, they were messing about in the 10 metres, and you could see it. And it was only when that try went in, they started to play again. Because I don't.
If you want to give him points, score a try under the sticks and let him kick the goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were trying too hard at that point to get him a try, and then obviously, then they started to try and just play the game again because I think they didn't want to lose the second half, and they certainly didn't want to be nilled in the second half. And this leg drive now from Nicholson, brilliant,
magnificent. I mean,
it's brilliant leg drive that.
This guy's flying under the radar. He's not doing anything spectacular, but he's not doing anything wrong.
He's going to be a good player, mate.
He's going to be a class player. And the Curry Nicholson backline could be something to watch over the next few years. Curry's kind of not as young as he was. Well, none of us are, but Curry and Nicholson could very well be the back row to watch over the next.
It's arguably Curry started this season off probably the best we've seen him for many
since his injury. Since his injury.
Yeah, you said it, sir. The Albert Goldthorpe, 3 for Williams, 2 for Curry, 1 for Dufty, and of course Jordan Lane. This was his 100th appearance for Hull FC, and one to forget for Jordan. Right, we now move on to the Catalan game, and this was a great game. Talk about topsy-turvy, back and two, seesaw affair. Outstanding match. Went one way, went the other. This is just audacious. Beautiful.
I'm sure that ball hits the line.
Well, mate, you've got the in-touch judge there.
Yeah, look, there's lots of fun. If any Castleford fans are watching, but there's a lot of contention about that try that the ball hit the line twice before the try.
Andy and Sue saying that it proves the point that the video ref is needed at all games.
Exactly, couldn't agree more.
They may be in agreement with you on that one. Robbie mentioned him earlier on. Broadbent, great game, Broadbent.
Yeah, and I've heard down the grapevine that a lot of Castleford fans are wanting him to stay in that position.
Well, I went on Twitter after the game, and a lot of them saying that they want Widdop at fullback and leave Broadbent where he is. He was that good. His our Caesar. One of the easier tries for Tom Johnson this season, that one.
I don't think he'll score an easier try than that, Tom Johnson.
No, that puts him out on his own now with 9 tries for the season. He now leads the try-scoring charts all on his own. And then it was time for Mr. Morg to do the Benny Hill. Anyway, that's enough of that. Get the Benny Hill for those.
Was that what it was?
Age. Yeah, but a bit of for those of a certain
age. Your mobile was ringing.
But no, I mean, fair play. It was a good little weavy run that from Arthur Moore.
A weavy run, yes, a weavy run.
But Castleford, though, got absolutely hammered against us. And we were talking the other day. I just hope Warrington do what Castleford did. I think going on a Thursday really helped Castleford. Really helped them.
The last few, I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, but I'm sure the last few times we travelled on the day of the game, we've got beat.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have. Or if we haven't, there's not many times we haven't got beat when we've travelled on the day.
Here goes
And
our
I'm
Jack.
really, really hoping that they
Well,
go.
here we go. Here we go. Oh, that's a lovely step. That's a lovely step. In fact, it's that good. Let's take another look at it. Here it comes. Get ready for it. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Ooh, lovely. Leaves Arthur well and truly on his derriere. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff from Broadbent. I thought Davis was going to catch him at one point, but
A turn of pace for Davis. Davis is not slow.
He's not slow, mate.
Pace.
He's not slow.
No.
Good evening to Margaret Royal. Sean Briggs in the house. Good evening, Sean. Welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. Where have you been, sir? Yeah, I mean, well done heartbreak for Castleford. 5 minutes to go, and they'll be disappointed with this try because, let's be fair, it's a bit soft. Mike McMeekin going in to secure the 2 points for Catalan.
Yeah. Oh, this is.
It's not good.
It's just awful. Not for Catalan. It's brilliant for Catalan.
No, it's great for Catalan.
Castleford, to let that try go in is just heartbreaking. You know, not many teams are going to go to Castleford and put up a performance to Catalan. Sorry, and put up a performance like that.
Absolutely.
Such a shame he couldn't hang on. Such a shame.
No. Good effort. Arthur Moore took the 3 Albert Goldthorpe medal points, 2 for Broadbent, and richly deserved those were, and 1 for Paul McShane. So that's how that one went. Johnson, 100th career appearance in a career that's been blighted by injury. It's great to see Tom Johnson, top of the try-scoring charts, doing so well. We then go to a game, Salford Huddersfield. This was all about penalties. 10 penalties conceded by Salford. This is very reminiscent to the Russell try at Castleford. Oh dear, yeah. Ash Golding given an early Christmas present there.
Yeah, I almost went to this game.
Yeah.
But fate's decided otherwise. But I thought Salford were going to win this.
No, I was the only one to go to Huddersfield. I had a feeling in my bones.
I thought Salford were going to turn it on.
No.
Is it
Salford are in trouble.
Is it a case?
With the injuries.
Yeah, but is it also a case that Salford may be performing better away from home? Maybe.
Shane Wright had a good game, and I have to say that Wright with a try,
I like Shane Wright. I think
good player, and also Nathan Peets. Nathan Peets had a good game in this one. Well, here we go. Here it comes. Get ready. Here it is. Here we go now. Ooh, that's just showboating. Love it from Will Price. Outstanding stuff. That's what we're here to see. Has there been? I mean, Tim Lafay in the stands would have been standing up and applauding that. Let's look at it again. It's a thing of beauty. Here it comes. Get ready.
Here we go. Oh, David Solomona-esque.
Oh, that was honestly. Oh, what a weekend. I mean, there was some beautiful
Me and you could have scored that, and he got 3 points to the Albert Goldthorpe point. Me and you could have scored that.
Mate, that was
Meanwhile, Paul Vaughan.
But no, absolutely outstanding that from Will Price. Got to give him his due on that one. Obviously, off to the NRL next week. Speaking of the NRL, rumours tonight that the Lewis Murphy transfer to the Sydney Roosters could be in jeopardy. Daniel Tupou has been given an extended contract, and they may be pulling out of the deal to bring Lewis Murphy to Sydney. That's an interesting development this evening.
Yeah, disappointing for the lad, but
he'll come back. He'll come back, as Johnson has proved. He will come back. But this here from Nagama, again, another moment of sheer. Sorry, it's not this one. It's the next one. Sorry, isn't it? There again, Owen Trout just has to fall over the line, really.
Yeah,
that, by all accounts, that's more important than 191 meters supposedly. But anyway, that's there you go. But don't get me wrong. The 2 tries were critical to Huddersfield's win.
He made a lot of meters after he caught. He made a few meters after he caught the ball.
Here we go. Kevin, what are you going to do? This is what I'm doing. Oh, beautiful. That's what we're talking about. Beautiful. Honestly, it was a weekend of. I mean, this is a good try.
Good hit. That was a good hit.
Tasty hit. But this again, lovely try. Watch this. Beautiful. Look at this. Bang. Oh, it's a lovely step. Lovely step. Watkins did his best to drop it, but
I don't think they were hindered at all by the fact that there was a bit of a shindig going on in the middle there.
No.
But, some good tries, some great performances.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Penalties, absolutely huge. Freddie McGilvray.
Poor performances as well, though.
Freddie's right, though. Price going to be out for potentially up to 6 weeks. That's a hammer blow. But of course, Toilo La Hoya was left on the bench for that game at the weekend. Price preferred at fullback. La Hoya, of course, now will be back into the team. You've got Connor and Russell as well. Great to see Ollie Russell bouncing back this week after that really poor performance the week. Before by his standards. 3 points for the Albert Goldthorpe went to Mr. English for this one, 2 for Connor, and 1 to the King, Ruddy Yawa. Do like a bit of the King, right? As we say every week, stop the season now! Just stop it now! What are we playing on for? Anyway.
Just call it a day, guys.
Call it a day. We'll take it there. Well, yeah, the Warwick Wolves now 2 points clear. Remain 2 points clear. Catalan, big game, of course, at the weekend. I mean, look at that. It just couldn't be any better. Wolves, Dragons, Warriors, Saints, and they go head-to-head those at the weekend. Exactly. Outstanding. The Robins, obviously, I mean, 5th. And the Giants, 6th at this moment in time. I mean, it's interesting there because those 3 teams, I believe, or those, I do think, and I'm going to call it, I do think Wolves, Dragons, Warriors, and Saints will finish in the playoff place. I'm not going to say where, but they're going to be in the top 6.
You would think so. You would think so after the starts that
Warriors had. It's then 2. I mean, and I say that's 2. Lee Leopards. I tell you, just keep an eye. You talk about dark horses for the top 6. We need to keep an eye on Lee Leopards. But then those next 4 teams, Robins, Giants, Red Devils, and Rhinos, really interesting dynamic. At the moment,
you can't discount Leeds, mate. They always put a run.
They always do. You're right. But Dave Kelly in the house. Dave Kelly's just come in the house. Good evening, David. Good evening, sir. So anyway, I've got a little treat for you, as I do every week. Should we do the team of the week?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Try and stay sat on the chair. Right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The team of the week from round number 7. Here we go. It's the Super League Raw team of the week for round number 7. Here we go again. And keeping out Matt Duffy with a sensational performance is Mr. Bevan French. This man is on fast forward whilst the others are on treadmills. He is unmovable at fullback on this showing for the Warriors. Superb, sir. And number 2, well, if Tommy Makinson was a painting, he would be a Claude Monet. Off with the boot, baby. But work rate and effort was of the highest definition. Makinson is a portrait of all that's good at the Saints. And number 3, no, it's not Jay Wardle, it's not Ricky Latelli, but it's their replacement, Kevin Nagama. And with every passing game, it is clear to see how shrewd an operator Ian Watson is. Nagama continuing to catch the eye for the Huddersfield Giants. And number 4, if only centres could get a red cape and don the role of matador when big Conrad Hull is running towards them. Some more big don't argues were on view against Wakefield. Ole! And number 5, the greatest Lebanese gift to rugby league, Mr. Abbas Miski, is now 10 appearances and 10 tries for the Cherry and Whites. Defences beware, as Abbas is now set to be unleashed for a sustained period of time. And number 6, just keeping out George Williams this week, is the 300 appearance man, Mr. Johnny Lomax. A performance that oozed class for the Saints, with 20 of the 38 points amassed going through the hands of Johnny. Oh, Johnny be good. And number 7, a man of the match performance by Jordan Abdul this week, eclipsing Caesar and Austin on his own. If you find them in Hull, please return them to Leeds. Who needs titles like marquee players when rugby can do the talking? One more word, quality. And number 8, well, this may surprise many, but Ethan Havard gets our number 8 this week. This was, without question, the 22-year-old's best performance of the season thus far, eclipsing anything Mike Cooper or Kate Ellis had produced thus far for the Warriors this season. At number 9, and remaining at hooker, is Danny Walker. A full 80-minute display from Danny that was full of running and guile. The more we watch him, the more he matures like the finest tasting Merlot of the 1999 vintage. Salute! And number 10, well, give him the Dream Team shirt now. Utterly superb Paul Vaughan. He continues to lay the platform for the Wolves' spine to flourish. And if that wasn't bad enough, his good friend Josh Maguire returns this week. At number 11, and in his testimonial year, is Ben Curry, having one of his best seasons since that ACL injury all those years ago. His second try of the season was nothing short of majestic. The wire left edge is looking extremely potent in 2023. And number 12, and another player who notched up his best 80 minutes of the season thus far, was Chris McQueen at Salford, with an average of 14 metres per carry. No other forward carried the ball with much success in round 7. And finally at number 13, well, we must give a nod to Peter Matautia, playing out the position for wire, but yet again Ben Garcia gets the nod for the manner in which he led his team in attack and defence to ensure that the Tigers went away whimpering at what might have been. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 7. The team of the week for round number 7, Reggie. And there it is in the bag for another week. And your thoughts on that one?
Never heard Tommy Makinson described as a Claude Monet before. You know, for Paul Vaughan at number 10, he may as well put a picture of the Invisible Man with bandages and dark glasses and a hat on.
Yeah, but
nobody else sees it.
Mate, there was again, showing our impartiality. Big argument for Matt Duffy, but I think French took it. Big argument for George Williams.
Yeah. Duffy was superb, but Bevan French, as we've said, the guy had a 9.5 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, I agree.
Williams
as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think a couple of things really. Like I say, Lomax 20 to 38 points went through his hands. I know, Williams set up 3 for Warrington, but equally that and the fact that it was his 3.
Jordan Abdul was faultless. Faultless.
Abdul.
That was a 10 out of 10. If Bevan's 9.5, Abdul was 10 out of 10.
If Abdul doesn't play that game, it's a completely different game. He
was faultless, Jordan Abdul, in that game.
Right. Shall we go and look at? It's time to get into some predictions, sir. Let's take a look at the Prediction League standings. Let's get a bit of mood music going.
Oh, let's have it. Oh.
So there you go. This was last week's performance, and with 14 points apiece, the fans forum now, and Gary Schofield 14 points last week. Schofield catches me up. The fans forum go a point clear, and Reggie is on 65 points. That's how the prediction
not a sprint.
is looking. Yeah, not your finest hour. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You may have already seen it.
Did I get any points?
You did. You got 9. You got 9 last week. Yeah, you got 9 last week, my friend. Is what you got. So yeah, that's what you got. Just taking a little look. Oh, don't know what's going on there. Right. It's time to look at this week's performances. You've probably already seen it. If you've got your eagle eyes on our Facebook page, you'll have seen that I've already put this little beauty on there for your viewing pleasure. But ladies and gentlemen, there's only one game of the week this week. Here we go. Rivals round is upon us. The Super League Easter weekend. A feast of rugby league football.
I can't wait, mate. I really cannot wait for it.
It's on its way.
This is what Easter's all about. This is
every game like.
This is all
every game like. This is what it should be like every week, my friend. every
Yes.
week. Outstanding stuff. Right,
I
it
agree.
kicks off on Thursday. Just to remind everybody as well, some games from the NRL. So Melbourne take on the Roosters on Thursday morning at 10 to 11 in the morning. And then, of course, this little beauty comes on in the evening. The Castleford Tigers taking on Wakefield. Proctor, as you can see there, does return. He's back in the squad, as too is a Tone and Liam Hood.
I think
Castleford,
Proctor will make a massive difference this Wakefield team.
huge difference.
Massive
Huge
difference. I really
Castleford, Evels has been, including, in fact, let's take a look at the squads. The squads have been announced. There they are. Evels is in, as you can see there. Sutcliffe was 50-50. It would appear he's not made it. So no Sutcliffe for this one for them. And also Watts was a doubt, and he also has not made it. And of course, the big news today, no Gareth Widdop. So we would expect Evels at full back. We would expect Broadbent and Miller in the halves for this one.
Yeah. This is, I genuinely, you'd go for Castleford all day long, given the form. But Proctor's a massive.
Well, Tony as well, mate. So
Yeah.
Tony's back as well.
Yeah, massive boost. It's tougher than it should be to call this one, but I'm going to go because confidence with Wakefield is really low, and I think Castleford will be stung by that defeat last week, but they'll also take confidence. I'm going to go Castleford 9-17.
Well, that's a slam dunk. All of us have gone exactly the same way. Alex Sharp has already posted in the feed that he's going Castleford by 10. So no real surprises there. But let's just call this as it is. This is a must-win game for Wakefield Trinity.
Yeah,
they have to win this.
Yeah,
they've got this one, and then next week they've got Leigh. And if they, for me personally, if they come out of those two games with nothing, it's over.
I agree.
It's over.
I agree. They'll get the customary win against Warrington at home because it's the law. But yeah, I agree. But this shouldn't be. We shouldn't even be thinking about this one. But I still think Castleford are going to win. But I think Wakefield will put up a fight. I really do. And you've got to be fearful. You've got to be fearful for them.
Yeah, you do. It really is now must win. And I think Applegarth has come out and
maybe even
that.
maybe even at the beginning of the season, Wakefield fans were counting on Leigh, not putting up the performances they put up. But you've got it. If I'm a Wakefield fan, I'm really, really worried.
Yeah, I agree. Lewis Johnson as well, of course, now at Castleford from KR.
Yeah.
That was announced this week. Yeah, good player, a good up and coming player. Be interested to see if he gets a.
He's not quite fulfilled his potential yet. I hope he does.
He's not been given the chance, has he? Though,
no,
to be fair,
he hasn't. But he needs to start fulfilling his potential now. He really does.
Then we go to Good Friday, the two biggies, both over 20,000. These next two, has been confirmed. Hull FC. 5 losses on the spin, taking on a Hull KR team that are now 2 from 2. Of course, no Hoy. A lot of talk that maybe Lytton will go to fullback, or maybe Jamie Shaw could come back, which would suggest that Darnell McIntosh will return. As for KR, good to go. No new concerns for them going into this game. It's hard to argue that KR wouldn't be favourite. I mean, both the fans forum and Schofield have gone KR 9-17. Where do you see it, mate?
Well, I think Hull should be given the 2 points for Brad Fash's hair. That's what I'm going to. At the end of this show, I'm going to take my hat off and reveal the Brad Fash do. Hull can't play any worse than they did on Saturday. Albeit they were dominated by a massive pack. And, Hull have had a decent pack over the last few years and they were dominated.
Mate, KR, have got a good pack.
Exactly. And I am going to go 90-17 Hull KR.
Are you?
I am. Yeah, I really am. I'm sorry, our Hull friends out there. I predicted you last week and you let me down badly, if I'm being honest. So yeah, Hull KR, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys.
I'm going against you all. I'm going to say Hull KR by 18 plus.
Right.
I think, based on the fact that I'm just not feeling Hull, and having watched them at close quarters last week, that pack, I just don't see it getting on top of Hull KR's pack. I think Tex Hoy out. Litton, for me, got real reservations over Davy Litton. If they put him at full back, it could be another calamity like we saw from Luke Hooley. Jamie Shaw for me be a better bet at
You've
full,
got
at full back.
if Shaw's fit and ready to play, you put him at full back.
Yeah, I would say so.
No discussion there.
Yeah, no. I mean, everybody's going KR, Alex Sharp, KR, Finney McGilvey, KR, Colby McGilvey's in the house. But yeah, I mean,
Colby.
yeah.
Let's put a shout out to our Hull friends.
Indeed.
If this is a defeat for Hull, what happens to Tony Smith?
Oh, he's going nowhere, mate. I said in the I said in the sheds. I don't know if you saw it, but I said in the sheds.
I've seen it. Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of Warrington last year. There's 20 players off contract. Based on what we saw on Saturday, the vast majority of them are not getting a contract.
No.
Now, unlike Warrington, they're very lucky. I don't see them flirting with relegation because Wakefield are that bad. So this is about, I'm sorry, all FC fans, this is about doing what we had to do last year, which is suck up the season, accept the fact that it's going to be painful, and just hope and pray. And Smith is Tony Smith has got the caliber to do this.
Of course he has.
That your recruitment, and he's probably already started the recruitment for next year. And you're just going to have to suck this one up, I'm afraid. It's as simple as that.
It was just a question. Where do they see Tony Smith?
I think you've got to do what we did with Powell.
I think they'd be very, very premature to get rid of him. I'm just wondering what the views of the Hull fans are. Last year we had Warrington fans calling for Powell, said by the end of the season I was wavering. And
look what faith gets you, mate. Look what faith gets you.
Exactly.
I told you throughout the season.
Judge
your coach when it's his team. The only signing that Tony Smith has made at Hull FC is Clifford.
Well, yeah, but
not another one. So that is not his team. So how can you judge him on this season?
Yeah,
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are, but that's the point. So he's only signed one player. You've got to judge him next year.
Mate, I'm not arguing. But where faith gets you, mate, you mix Jesus with Noah up.
I did. Anyway, Wigan and Saints. I'm Moses. Noah's coming in now. You're thinking of that rain at KR, mate, the weekend. You know what I mean?
Swear I saw a boat with loads of animals on it going down the river at the back.
Right, this little beauty. What a game! What a game! But even the neutrals enjoy these two games, Hull and the Hull derby in this one. This is going to be a great match.
Look at that.
Both
Separated
Wigan.
At birth.
What's that, mate?
Separated at birth.
Wigan and Saints both coming into this game on the back of 3 wins apiece. Obviously, Isa out, Field out, Cust out, Marshall expected to be out. Really disappointing for Logan Ashley. A lot of talk that they're going to put Powell in the halves with Harry Smith for this game, which is a real shame. I'd have loved them to have given Ashley. I mean, it's a big game for him to come in. I get that, but I'd love to have seen him involved.
But then again, O'Neill hasn't let anybody down when he's come in.
Well, O'Neill will deputise for Powell at hooker, won't he? So
maybe that's what.
Will Ashley get on the bench? He might get on the bench. I for one, would be really delighted to see Logan Ashley get some sort of game time. As for Saints, of course, no Walmsley, no Batchelor. There is a difference of opinion between the fans forum and Gary Schofield. Both go 1-8. The fans forum see it as a Wigan, and Bevan French is playing Dornier. It's Field that's out injured, and St Helens 1-8 for Gary Schofield. So both on the fence. Right. Where do we see it? Where do you see it?
It's a tough one, this. It really is. These two could put the reserve teams out and it'd be an absolute humdinger. There's that much feeling between the two teams. I think, and I'm going to go with my gut instinct, I think Saints will win 9-17.
So you see it with a bit of change.
Yeah, because they've lost a bit of the X factor with Jay Field.
Yeah, they have, and that is a
And
big blow.
they may well be over reliant on Bevan French.
Yeah, I agree. They may be. You're absolutely spot on with that. Yeah, it's a tough one. This one, I'm going with you. I think Saints for me. I think Saints. I think it'll be tight though. I'm going to go 1-8. You'll go so 3 for Saints, 1 for Wigan. The fans forum going Wigan. Dawn Baker, Saints win for her, and that it's hurting. Freddie McGilvey, Wigan 1-8 there.
It hurts, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, a couple there. Alex Sharp going 9-17 Saints, so same as you. Quite a few going. Like I say, real tough one to call that one. Real tough one to call.
It is.
Speaking of tough ones to call, another beauty of a game. Of course, no Gareth O'Brien or Ben Nakabawa. That's a new one on me. Both of those are going to be out. Joe Wardle out as well. Salford, no Partington, no Lafai, no Borough. And Joe Burgess, a major doubt, having gone off with a rib injury. But Andy Ackers is expected to return for Salford. So that's
I thought Ackers was going to be out for a couple of weeks. So maybe
that's
playing with some injections. I don't know.
Which we know what happened with Lafai. That's a big,
would be a risk. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alex Sharp's gone straight in. He's gone Salford by 18. Ooh, that's a big shout. Both the fans forum and Schofield go Lee 1-8.
I'm going Lee 9-17. Because
a big win.
A big-ish win because, the home crowd, they've got a great atmosphere going at Lee. And I think they'll be stung by that performance against Wigan. They'll want to bite back. And that's what Lee have tended to do this season. They've had a poor performance. And the next couple of performances, they've pulled it out the bag. They beat some decent teams.
Yeah.
And I think Lee 9-17.
Well, Lee ran them close at the start of the season. Of course, we've got to remember that these two played each other early doors. But I think Lee's settled down since then, as you have. Salford are coming into this bruised, there's no doubt. The left edge is decimated.
You've got Lafay and Burgess.
Burgess out. Ackers won't be fully fit.
Ackers not 100%. I doubt 100%.
No. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going 9-17 Lee. It's so all of us are going Lee. Variances in terms of the scoreline. But all of us going Lee. Right. Okay. We now move on to Perpignan as the Warrington Wolves welcome back. As Catalan Dragons should say, welcome back their former players, Dudson Drinkwater and Sam Cassiano. Wyatt will be no Russell in this game. Darrell Clark out for this game. Harrison and Bullock still out. Apart from that, Josh Maguire returns. As for Catalan, Takiaho is a doubt. May, of course, is out. And Tompkins is 50-50 at best going into this game. The fans forum see it Warrington 9-17. Gary Schofield sees it Warrington 1-8. Where do you see, Greg?
I think May is a massive miss. More than he's being made of. May is a massive miss for Catalan. Tompkins not so much these days. I just hope that Josh Maguire can play the full 80 minutes or however long he's expected to play.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a major factor, Josh Maguire. Yeah. I'm actually going Warrington 18+.
I was tempted. I
think the ex-Catalan players will understand how Catalan play.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Will know the moves, will know the mentality that, you bully Catalan, they don't want to know.
No. Mitchell Pearce is a doubt as well, isn't he? Mitchell Pearce is a doubt.
Yeah, you bully Catalan, and we've got the pack now that that can bully other teams. They don't want to know.
No.
And I think Warrington are going to win, are going to surprise.
We've never really, I'm not disagreeing with it, but we've never, the only reason I've gone 9-17 over 18+ is we've never really gone to Catalan and done them. it tends to be a
done them a couple
really
of times, mate. We've done them a couple of times.
not
A while ago.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I'm going 9-17. I get your point.
No, I think we are going to surprise, especially with Maguire back. And hopefully the referee doesn't want to make a name for himself and be the one that gives Maguire another yellow card or another red card. And Maguire
but the referees should be announced tomorrow, I would have thought.
At least it won't be James Child, so that's a.
It won't be Child. 9-17. I'm going there on Saturday morning as well. Missed me not to mention this. Penrith Panthers take on the Manly Seagulls. Those two teams right next door to each other. Manly are 4th, Penrith 5th at the moment in the NRL. That'll be a good game on Saturday morning as well. So that's a feast of rugby league. Where are you going to go? Just put your feet up, get the bacon butties out in the morning, a couple of tinnies. Take away, do whatever. Just sit behind, just sit down, watch the telly, just get it on there. Go to the game.
My wife, sir.
Yeah, you could go to the game if your team's at home, but if it's not, just sit back, relax, and right. We then top it all off Sunday morning. Newcastle Knights take on the New Zealand Warriors at 9:15, and then this little cheeky affair. Of course, we must remember Leeds York is the curtain raiser for this one, also live on Sky. The Women's Super League kicks off, and then this one. It's a big game.
It's a big game. Yeah. Can Rhinos play as poorly as he did against OKR?
Well, Myler will return. McDonald is expected to return. For Hanley out. Huddersfield, no Farge, no Greenwood. Price is going to be out. Ashton Golding, there's a hamstring injury there. There's doubts over Levette, Ollie Wilson, but Jermaine McGilvery, Uncle Freddie, is this right? Jermaine McGilvery expected to return for the Huddersfield Giants this week, which will be a welcome return for him. Good win, solid win for Huddersfield against Salford. Leeds, obviously a bit battered and bruised off the back of KR. Really tough one to call, this one. It could go either way. Both the Forum and Gary Schofield see this as a 9-17 win for the Leeds Rhinos. Where do you see it, mate?
I'm going 1-8 for the Rhinos.
You're going home advantage.
I'm sorry, Huddersfield fans. I just think you've got quite a few injuries, and I think Rhinos cannot play that. They can't be as poor as they were. They can't be as poor as they were against OKR. I think you're probably coming up against them at the wrong time. I think Leeds are going to bounce back. You're going Huddersfield, aren't you?
I'm going to back him again for another week. I'm going to go Huddersfield tight 1-8, but I'm going to back him again. I think I just think that forward-wise, they've got more. Oledzki's still coming back from his knock. He's not fully match sharp yet.
No, but he should be a little bit sharp. I mean, you could probably be 100% right, mate. But
I'm not feeling Leeds. That said, weirder things have happened that Blake Austin decides to turn up for this one again. But
can he play as bad again?
I don't know.
He'll have had a rocket. He'll have had a rocket. They'll all have. Have they got? What's the fullback situation like?
Myler will be back.
Yeah, well,
Myler will be back.
That's a bonus.
Yeah. I'm going to go Huddersfield. I'm going to go Huddersfield 1-8. One thing's for certain. Rugby will be the winner this weekend. I think this is going to be a sensational weekend of rugby league football. Make sure that you get to your game. Be a part of what is bound to be, hopefully, a record-breaking Easter weekend in terms of fans through the turnstiles. It should be absolutely brilliant viewing for one and all. And, of course, we will unpack it all. Same time.
That's got to be a show next week, is it not?
Isn't it not? Same time, same place. Next week, we will be back. Greg, another hour and a half has flown by. We hope you've enjoyed the show.
Loved it. Loved it.
Great. It's been great fun. We've got through a lot there. Ladies and gentlemen, keep supporting us. Keep telling your friends about us. Keep sharing us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It's the one place where all of our videos, you can get to it without having to scroll. All of our videos are uploaded onto there and more besides. So do go onto YouTube and subscribe. But ladies and gentlemen, as we do every week, we're going to end with the top performers up to round number 7. And me and Greg will see you same time, same place next week at 8 o'clock.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter. Make sure you celebrate Jesus, not Moses. Take care.